The TARDIS arrives on the planet Terra Alpha, where the Seventh Doctor and Ace discover a society in which sadness is against the law, a law enforced zealously by the brightly uniformed Happiness Patrol. The planet is ruled by Helen A, with the aid of her companion Joseph C, and her carnivorous pet Stigorex Fifi. The penalty for those found guilty of unhappiness is death in a stream of molten candy prepared by Helen A's executioners, robotic Candyman, and his associate Gilbert M. The time travelers help foment rebellion amongst the downtrodden population and the subterranean pipe people. The planet's original inhabitants, and Helen A is overthrown. Joseph C and Gilbert M escape in a shadow, while the Candyman is destroyed and Fifi killed. And A finally realizes the hard way that happiness is nothing without the contrast of sadness. Welcome, friends and companions. It's time for a live stream. Yes, I like live streaming. So that's the reason I'm doing now a live stream. Yeah, actually. So if you want to join me, by the way, in a live stream or panel, feel free to contact me for this. You can put a comment on YouTube or you can on one of the videos, or you can visit me and meet me on the Discord server of the Random Entertainment channel. So feel free, yes, to contact me about this because it is always nice to have someone next to me in the seat to uh, to uh, to talk about the things, to chat about the things we like and interested in. And for this also this Doctor Who live streams, because this channel has a special place on this channel for Doctor most beloved sci-fi series. Yes, I will watch it till eternity. Or that's to say, always, always, and always. So, and also, you feel free to invite me for a live stream panel on your channel because I also contribute on your channel. I want to meet you. I want to make new friends and new companions, and I want to network. So, feel free to also to invite me for this. So, yeah, I'm really passionate to do live streams, and I want to interact with you. I want to chat with you. And so, yes, it's my dream to have interactive live streams. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Yes, and but I'm but passionate do live streams. So I want to chat about things I'm interested in. So it's very yes, I'm so enthusiastic and passionate to do these live streams. So, what sort of fans, sci-fi fantasy fans, in this channel for fun chats about about our beloved books, movies, series, and franchises. We also talk about food and drinks, music, and sport. All things we want to talk about. We don't talk about religion and politics. These are not entertainment. We want to have fun, laughter, and humor on this channel. So we don't dive deep into politics or religion or um, no. It's a little bit. You cannot avoid sometimes some things, but it is always not in depth. We want to only service and not dive deep in political things. So that's the reason. This is entertainment channel, and politics are not entertainment. In my humble opinion, you can't say that. So this channel has multiple names because yeah, I regenerate regularly on so, but most of the time this is the channel is called Random Entertainment Channel, and random because we discuss everything involved movies, series, books, and music, and a special place again and again for Doctor Who. Yeah, a random also because we broadcast on non-fixed times, actually many different times. Just like a doctor travels in the stars through time and space. He traveled through time and space on his channel, and actually, the reason behind the fact that I live stream on different times is because I want to meet as much people as possible for in different time zones and countries. So I'm looking forward to meet you, actually. That's the reason. And when you want to know what time the broadcast is, you need to subscribe to this channel. So I'm looking forward to meet you. So random also. That I also was I already saying in the beginning. You can contact me for if you have interest in joining these live streams, and you can invite me for your live streams on your channel. So the Discord server is called Red Entertainment Channel Tech Doctor Who. So my name is Enigmatic Joker. I'm your host, and today we have a seventh Doctor story that is called The Happiness Patrol. Yes, yes, yes. We have a Sylvester McCoy story today. Yes, 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 yes. And as usually, I will do first some general info. Then we dive into the plot. And we have this for this live stream. We have three parts because this story is a three-parter. After that, I do some story notes, and then I will dive into some continuity. And of course, I will name some cast members of this story because it's very important to actors and actresses. So, okay, let's go then for very short general info. Um, so, for the record, The Happiness Patrol was the second serial of season 25 of Doctor Who. It was intended by the writers to be a parody of Thatcherism, with Helen A representing Margaret Thatcher herself. So, that's really the service of politics, not to dive into this further. Yes, but yeah, okay. We go now right into the plot. So, spoiler alert! If you haven't watched or listened to this story yet, I highly recommend to do that. And otherwise, you can choose for yourself to listen further. Okay, well, I already was saying three parts. And this was a broadcast. The three parts. Every episode was 25 minutes on screen. So yeah, it was aired in 1988, in the end of 1988 in November. So it was yeah, 36 years ago. Okay, yeah, almost 36 years ago. This story. Yeah, season 25. Um, uh, the classic Who era was 26 seasons. So Uh, yeah, we're now in season 25. In this story in season 25. Okay, so have you decided to watch for to listen further? Okay, we now begin. Part one. A woman wanders down a dark street playing melancholy blues when she is approached by a man calling himself Silas P. He says there is a place for her to meet with others and outwardly discuss her sadness and gives her his card. However, this all turns out to be a ruse, as Silas whistles for the Happiness Patrol to arrest her. Elsewhere, the TARDIS materializes in another dark street, and the Seventh Doctor and Ace emerge. Ace is disenchanted by the chirpy lift music playing through the speakers, and the Doctor explains it to be an Earth colony on the planet Terra Alpha, with a lot of rumors circulating it. Silas P. brings himself before Helen A., who presents him with a promoting badge for successfully capturing the Killjoy. She gets suspicious, however, when he brings up his ambition. The Doctor and Ace continue to search the corridors when they encounter a bowler headed businessman who identifies himself as Trevor Sigma. A group of women from the Happiness Patrol arrive by the TARDIS in a security vehicle and begin painting it pink. Acknowledging something is off, the Doctor devises a plan to get arrested so they can investigate. Returning to the TARDIS, the pair are caught up. card out, and by one of the Happiness Patrol, Daisy K, for not having identity badges. The doctor is arrested as a spy, while Ace is to audition for the Happiness Patrol. Helen A and her husband, Joseph C, watch one of her promotional broadcasts at home. In a detention area called the waiting zone, the doctor and Ace encounter a former servant to Helen A, Harold V, formerly known as Harold F, playing a fruit machine. The prize for which is a video of Helen A delivering a terrible joke written by him. The waiting zone's guard, Priscilla P, explains that while they aren't in a prison, she would shoot the doctor should he try to escape. Silas P leads a recently arrested killjoy into a large room and places him beneath a large metal pipe, ready for sentencing. Meanwhile, Harold V explains to the doctor that the happiness patrol were the better aspect of Helen's Ace rule. The other would be being given to the Candyman, an unseen party to Helen's A rule who conducts experiments on citizens. Elsewhere, Helen A calls Gilbert M into her office, wanting to know what punishment the Candyman has devised. The killjoy is declared guilty of displaying public grief, wearing dark clothing, and is sentenced to execution. Helen A remotely drops the metal pipe to encapsulate the killjoy and signals the Candyman to fill the pipe with a flavoring mixture, drowning him. As the Doctor and Ace plot to escape the waiting zone, Helen A sends a signal to the game Harold V is playing, firing a fatal electric shock, killing him instantly. Meanwhile, Gilbert M is approached by the Candyman, who is annoyed by Gilbert M's lateness. Harold V's body is taken away by the Happiness Patrol, and the Doctor figures out a way to take a booby-trapped go-kart to escape. The Doctor disengages the bomb attached to the engine, and Ace drives off. The guard does absolutely nothing to stop them. Ace is recaptured by the Happiness Patrol and brought to audition, while the Doctor escapes in the go-kart. While auditioning, Ace has a heart-to-heart with Susan O, a secretly depressed member of the Happiness Patrol who struggles under Helen A's reign. Seeing that Ace could help, she gives her the key and allows her to escape, but she is later discovered and recaptured by Daisy K. Silas P finds the Doctor and signals for the Happiness Patrol, but is knocked unconscious by a blues player called Earl Sigma, who helps the Doctor escape. The Happiness Patrol arrive and execute Silas P. The Doctor and Earl make their way into the Candyman's lair, the Candy Kitchen. Gilbert M arrives for a meeting with the Candyman, and the Doctor and Earl are discovered. End of part 1. Part 2. Daisy K and the Happiness Patrol march Ace to the colony back to the waiting zone, while she questions their feelings about Helen A's rule. Priscilla P seems to be determined for execution. The Doctor and Earl are tied up by the Candyman, who explains his creative manners of execution. The Doctor plays on the Candyman's insecure temper to get him to stick himself to the floor using lemonade, while he frees himself and Earl and escapes. Priscilla P continues to hold Ace at gunpoint when the Happiness Patrol drags Susan Q into the waiting zone, having discovered her duplicity. The Doctor and Earl wander through a pipe, which had carried a form of syrup for execution. The Doctor deduces the pipe had not been used for a while, and suggests Earl not to play his harmonica, as certain noises could bring down the crystallized syrup formed within the pipe. Back in the Candy Kitchen, Gilbert M returns and threatens Candyman back into submission. Doctor and Earl continue through the pipe and find a footprint, before being running into a group of creatures, referred to as pipe people. Ace and Susan Q remain under Priscilla P's guard, and Susan Q continues to feel grief at the fact that she wouldn't be missed after her execution. despite Ace's pleas that she can help. One of the pie people, Wences, holds the Doctor and Earl at the spear point before Earl manages to distract them by playing the harmonica. Another named Wulfric uses Wicked as an expletive, and the Doctor actually realizes that it has spotted Ace. It tells him that she was captured. Helen A gives Daisy K the order to have Susan Q to Ace's disgust and fury. Wulfric arrives and distracts Priscilla P long enough for Ace to escape. Mansus leads the Doctor and Earl through the pipes to a manhole. Doctor climbs through the manhole and encounters Trevor Sigma again, while Earl goes off on his own. And A discusses the rebellion with Daisy K, who informs her that they have traveled into the tunnels. Helen A sends her pet Fifi to search for them. Meanwhile, Earl hides from a group of factory strikers protesting against the Happiness Patrol. Ace is escorted through the tunnels by Wulfric, while the Happiness Patrol sets Fifi in after them. Doctor is brought before Helen A, who explains her rule to him, and it's therefore Sigma, who he had tricked using reverse psychology. And when Helen A goes into her office for a broadcast, the Doctor sneaks in after her. Helen A then calls for security, and the Doctor leaves. In the tunnels, Ace and Wulfric are attacked by Fifi, whom Ace manages to subdue using a can of Nitro 9. Elsewhere, Gilbert M is still taunting the Candyman over his predicament. The Doctor runs into Earl again, who informs him of the two snipers targeting the strikers. The Doctor makes his way up to the snipers, who hold him at gunpoint. The Doctor manipulates the sniper into handing him his gun and throws it away, and the other sniper does the same. Meanwhile, Daisy K presides at Susan Q's sentencing and declares her guilty. And A signals for the flavoring to be delivered, forcing Ace and Wulfric, who are still in the pipe, to flee. The Doctor returns to the candy kitchen and offers the Candyman an ultimatum. Divert the flow and be unstuck from the floor. The Candyman agrees and the Doctor uses water to unstick him. While Wulfric flees into another pipe, Ace slides from the main pipe into the execution chamber where Susan Q is set to be executed. But the Candyman diverts the flow and the pair survive. To Helen A's anger, Trevor Sigma informs her that they cannot be executed by those means again. However, he then states that an alternate execution can be arranged. The Candyman continues to threaten the Doctor with death, and he once again sticks the Candyman to the floor with lemonade and fleas. Ace and Susan Q are brought before Helen A, who tells them that they will be publicly auditioning for the Happiness Patrol. While they are taken for their auditions at the forum, the Doctor finds a poster advertising Ace's audition, which bills her as Ace Sigma, and sends Earl to fetch the demonstrators. A Happiness Patrol member comes and paints a large RIP, rest in peace, on a poster of a previous audition contender named Daphne S., who is the killjoy tricked by Silas P. The doorman comments to the Doctor that she obviously didn't go down too well. End of part 2. Part 3. The patrol escorts Ace and Susan Q to the forum, while Helen A watches the strikers on the monitors and orders the Happiness Patrol to make them all disappear. The forum doorman confirms Ace's place in the forum, and the Doctor goes to find her. Meanwhile, Helen A discusses her plans for a revenge with Fifi. The Doctor is approached by Trevor Sigma, who gives him a list of everyone Helen A has made disappear over 6 months and leaves the planet. Helen A sets Fifi loose in the pipes again, causing Wences to panic and flee. Ace and Susan Q are brought into the forum by the Happiness Patrol, and Doc distracts them with bouts of hysterical laughter and bringing in a group of happy citizens. While Priscilla P. holds Daisy K. and the others at gunpoint, the Doctor, Ace, and Susan Q. escape in security vehicle. And A and Joseph C. hear over the loudspeakers that infighting is happening within the Happiness Patrol ranks. And A has Joseph C. wait for Fifi, who continues to chase Wences through the pipes. Priscilla P. has Daisy K. playing the Rich Cash game when a live feed from Helen A. appears and she tells Priscilla P. to take her gun away from Daisy K. and wait. Wilfrid and the Wences run through the pipes and into the doctor, Ace, Susan Q. and Earl, and they all flee from Fifi. Daisy K informs Helen A that the doctor is in pipes, and she insists on letting Fifi deal with him. The doctor sends Ace and Susan Q with the pipe people and has Earl play his harmonica to lead Fifi to them. Fifi's howling brings the crystallized syrup down on her, fatally injuring her. Helen A and Daisy K see that Priscilla P has been bound by Susan Q and Earl and signal the Candyman to bring the doctor to them. At that moment, the Doctor and Ace arrive in the candy kitchen. Doctor distracts Candyman while Ace readies a heated poker as a weapon. Doctor opens the oven, which erupts in flames, and Candyman flees into the pipe. The Doctor and Ace find Susan Q and Earl destroying loudspeakers around the colony. Wilfric and the Wences storm the candy kitchen and direct the flow of flavoring into the pipe he is in, destroying him to Gilbert's M's amusement. Tracking her falling empire, Helen A prepares to flee in an escape shuttle. Doctor and Ace say farewell to Wilfred and Wences and exit the pipes, while Helen A's shuttle takes off without her. Helen A contacts the shuttle and discovers that Gilbert M and her husband Joseph C have left her behind. The Doctor and Ace arrive looking for Helen A and are held at gunpoint by Daisy K when Susan Q disarms her and Earl ties her up. Helen A tries to escape through the tunnels, but she runs into the Doctor. He accuses her of lacking emotion and forcing it onto her subjects. But Helen A spitefully declares that she will flee to a new planet and indict strict happiness yet again. However, as Helen A leaves, she spots a dying Fifi lying outside the pipes and breaks down into tears. With Helen A's reign over, the Doctor and Ace make the goodbyes to Earl and Susan Q and prepare to leave in the TARDIS after Ace finishing repainting it blue. And that, my friends and companions, is the end of this story, this three-parter, The Happiness Patrol. I will name some cast members. The Doctor is played by Sylvester McCoy. Ace is played by Sophie Aldred. Helen A is played by Sheila Hancock. Joseph C is played by Ronald Fraser. Daisy K is played by Georgina Hill. Priscilla P is played by Rachel Bell. Gilbert M is played by Harold Innocent. Trevor Sigma is played by John Normington. Susan Q is played by Leslie Dunlap. Earl Sigma is played by Richard D. Sharp. Harold V is played by Tim Barker. Silas P is played by Jonathan Byrne. Candyman is played by David John Pope. Killjoy is played by Mary Heatley. The Forum Doorman is played by Tim Scott. The Snipers are played by Steve Swinscoe and Mark Carroll. The Wences is played by Philip Neve. The Wilfric is played by Ryan Friedman. And newscaster is Annie Hully, is the voice only. Some world building in this story about the Doctor. The Doctor notes that Theta Sigma was his nickname at college. Um, that's interesting. Actually this is a lies of the doctor. Uh, I want to explain it for a minute. The doctor's old academy schoolmate Rex knew the doctor as Theta Sigma, which he informally shortened to Teeth. The third doctor repeatedly corrected him when they met again centuries later. I wanted to be called Doctor instead. We see that in the TV story, The Armageddon Factor. This story takes place. Of, this story is in is the sixth and final serial of season 16, and that is with K9 Mark II and Romana the first. Actually, so note something. Some accounts treated Theta Sigma as a doctor's actual proper name as far as Gallifrey was concerned. For example, some Gallifreyan records noted that K9 Mark I had formerly been a companion to the Time Lord Theta Sigma, and that is linked to Prose K9 and the Beasts of Vega, etc. In an alternate timeline in which Restron failed to finish the Eye of Harmony before his death, Doctor never left Gallifrey and became a commentator rather than a renegade Time Lord. He was known as commentator Theta Sigma. That's an audio forever. And by the way, I have in the past I've done a live stream about the Eye of Harmony, an explanation about that, and some thoughts about the Eye of Harmony. So if you look for this video on my channel, you can look for it for Eye of Harmony, and there are some explanation about that because it is also Eye of Harmony is in the Doctor Who movie 1996 with the Eighth Doctor Paul McGann. There's also a great deal about Eye of Harmony. So if you have watched this live stream from the past on my channel, you hear some things about that. So for now, it's good. So more about the Sigma Alliance. It was also in the part of River Song's message to 11 Doctor of the universe oldest cliff face, and that's in the Pandora Opens. That the Pandora Opens that is in series 5 episode 12 was the penultimate episode of series 5. We will see Amy and River, and also Rory, of course. So River Song claimed and demonstrated on numerous occasions that she knew the Doctor's secret real name, and also, for example, Force of the Dead, name of the Doctor, etc. However, the seventh Doctor, Sylvester McCoy, would later claim that Theta Sigma was his nickname at college to the coincidentally named Trevor Sigma. They see that in this story, the Happiness Patrol, where we are talking about this story. Nine, the Doctor would later reiterate this in a duel with Grimney Screw to guess the other true name, saying that old school nicknames don't count. You see that in the audio story, Station to Station. In one account, the Doctor considered Time Lord coding, which she couldn't bear to be addressed as. She had prose of Doctor Who and Armageddon Factor. It identified him uniquely among the Time Lords and was not to be spoken outside of the Academy. That's a prose involves the shadow. According to the author of the Time Lord letters, a historical document compiling writings by concerning Doctor, Theta Sigma was also their Academy student identification code. That's a link to prose, the Time Lord letters. And when the Doctor's final incarnation permanently died during the first battle of the War in Heaven, his coffin had two Greek letters on it. One of these was Sigma. You see that in prose, alien bodies. So there's some information about this allies Theta Sigma. Some world building in culture, the Doctor sings a verse of as time goes by. A second thing in culture is that the letter behind each person's name appears to be kind of a status marker. Lear has an A after her name, and her husband a C. The killjoy Harold V was called Harold F when he was the gag writer for Helen A, but was later degraded. All of worlders on Terra Alpha are referred to by this designation Sigma. A third thing is that Terra Alphans use the word killjoy to describe the people who rebel against Helen A. That is some culture. Some will in foods and beverages. The doctor uses lemonade to stick the Candyman's feet to the ground and water to unstick him. Some role-building individuals, 2 points, is that Ace loves dinosaurs and hates live music. She can't play an instrument, dance, or sing. And second thing in individuals is that Ace wears a Charlton athletic badge on her jackets. Some influences. Franz Kafka's The Trial, the main character, Joseph K., leads a regime that battles against oppressive forces. Something in planets is that Terra offers an Earth colony of at least 3 million people. Humans have driven the native inhabitants underground. It's in the case in this is in his story. Another thing is that Earth is known, but is the center of power that has shifted to the galactic center, home of the Galactic Census Bureau. Um, Something about the species. Dr. Lest met Stygorex in Birmingham in the 25th century. He describes them as ruthless, intelligent predators. And last, some world building technologies that the Happiness Patrol use weapons called fun guns. Some story notes. Some. So this story had the working title The Crooked Smile. This data also appeared as that of a local news sheet read by some of the characters. A second thing is that during the age of William Hartnell, there had been a proposal for a story called The Jokers. Oh, Joker. Yeah, Joker. Um, the Jokers. Although the plot was similar, it featured the opposite concept as in the proposed story. Laughter was forbidden and being serious was the law. While this story is the other way around. Third thing is that in the scene set in the underground tunnels in part 3, the Candyman has no metal brace around his mouth. It was added to the costume following these initial recordings to try to disguise the features of the actor inside. Some practical things in that. The howl of Helen A's pet Cigarex Fifi was actually the modulated sound of Chris Kloss's own voice. Another thing, according to Sylvester McCoy in an interview for Doctor Who magazine 425, this story was originally planned to be filmed in black and white. McCoy said that he had only known this after it was filmed and said that he would have backed the production team to film in black and white, as he thought the sets were lacking. There's also a funny thing, interesting thing is that the Rowan Williams, the Archbishop of Canterbury, referred to this story in his 2011 Easter sermon on the subject of happiness and joy. So actually, Doctor Who stories can be used for preaching and teaching in churches. Yeah. By the way, I'm a Wovian. My religion is Wovian. I'm a Wovian. Yeah, I can understand that the stories can be of great inspiration to use that for preaching and teaching in a church. So for all the archbishops, for all the pastors, for all the yeah, you got cardinals. So watch Doctor Who, and you have inspiration for your congregation. Inspiration for your congregation. That's enough. Only service what the religion and thing is all about. Whatever. This is the fun side of the thing. Don Normanton, Trevor Sigma is credited as Trevor in Radio Times for Parts 2. Um, in the original script, story took place over several weeks. To compensate for the fact that all the action now took place over a single night, Graham Curry decided to have an ace regime already crumbling at the start of the adventure. The script originally contained a prison area called Arcadia, complete with dozens of fruit machines and an elaborate go-kart game. But because of budgetary restrictions, it was replaced with a far simpler waiting zone. Um, okay. Also, this was meant to be the fourth and final story of season 25, but the season was reshuffled to assure that Silver Nemesis was broadcast on the exact week of the show's 25th anniversary after the start of the season was delayed by coverage of the Olympics. This creates continuity errors with Ace already wearing a Flower Child's brooch on her jacket in his story and Silver Nemesis. So, um, okay. Other things. Um, um, this was a last story produced entirely in studio, excluding minisodes, until Boom, over 35 years later. It's also interesting. So that this was actually the last story produced entirely in studio, excluding minisodes, by the way, until Boom over 35 years later. So very interesting. So this is all about story notes. Um, some continuity, because I say in every live stream, to some extent, stories and episodes are related to each other in Whoodiverse, are linked to each other, are for reference to each other, and are to influencing each other from influence. And some most things are some is fan related. So you have to. I want to say is that interpretation is a keyword in this. So and every time I rewatch a story or episode, actually I discover new things and new links and new things that can combine. So, but it's for for everyone to decide for him or herself what you can actually what the interpretation is in continuity and canon, non-canon, whatever. What it's for you to decide what is canon and what is non-canon. You are free to decide that. That's also the things about Doctor Who. That so I well, one of the things I like is that you can actually can choose your own favorite canon, your own favorite things in it. So perfect. I have um, five, 9 things. First thing is that the Doctor refers to Brigadier Leonard Stewart and his confrontation with the Triceratops and Pterodactyl in the London Underground. We see that in the there's a link to TV story Invasion of the Dinosaurs. That's an uh, third Doctor story with the Brigadier, Benton and Sarah. Hello, Island Bergholder. How are you today? Was that was in this the Invasion of the Dinosaurs was in season 11, serial 2. Um, the second thing in continuity is that Doctor encounters the Candyman again in prose in Trials of Tara. A third thing is that the daughter was also painted in the TV story Paradise Towers. Uh, it's actually with the gangs and their with the packs. The tortoise was also painted and will be again in the TV story in Aliens of London. In Time Worn Exodus, however, man attempts to paint the tortoise only to have the paint slide off completely. Similarly, um, in TV story Face the Raven, Memorial for Clara Oswald is graphitite on the TARDIS by Rixie only for the dried paint to be left behind when the TARDIS dematerializes. We see that TV story Hellbent. This is, of course, with 12 Dr. Peter Capaldi. Um, so there's some painting and graffiti on the TARDIS sometimes. But yeah, in the end, it is very, very bluish. Four thing is that this story most likely takes place in the 24th century. It's a link to audio dialects among us. But continuing to the 25th century, Earth is still considered a miserable place and overpopulation is a concern. You see that in TV story Colony in Space. There's actually a third Doctor story and with Joe Grant. And also the Master in it. And similarly, many Earth colonies are considered terrible places. There's a link to Prose of Christmas on a rational planet. A fifth thing is that Ace described the Candyman as a bloke made of licorice. There's a link to audio The Prisoner's Dilemma. Sixth thing is that the Doctor and Earl do a duet with the Doctor on the spoons. Doctor would play the spoons on other occasions. You see in audio, there's Monsters of Gogprots. Yeah, Doctor has something with spoons. Yeah, very recently there was a spoon in the story in Empire of that actually with the 15th Doctor, the Suti Katwa. Some things that Ace would get to visit dinosaurs in the Cretaceous, is in the comic train flight, living in the past. Eighth thing is that when Ace asks for a chance to use the thumb gun, the Doctor forbids it, citing that it would damage public property. Doctor has damaged public property on many occasions, including public transportation, public buildings, public parks, public hospitals, and more. There's this case in The Web of Fear. That is a second Doctor story. Also with the companions Jamie McCrimmon and Victoria Waterfield. In the Invasion, that is also a second Doctor story with Jamie McCrimmon and Zoe Harriet, and featuring also the Brigadier and Benton. Also, the Terror of the Altons. That is with the third Doctor and the Brigadier and Benton and Yates and Joe Grant. And the 11th Hour with Matt Smith. The Woman Who Fell to Earth. That is with the 13th Doctor Jodie Whittaker, etc. So again, the Doctor Some examples for that the doctor has damaged public property on many occasions, including public transportation, public buildings, public parks, public hospitals, and more. Some examples. Another last thing I want to say about this is that a pink TARDIS would later be seen in "Come on TARDIS, Let's Go Party." So, and that, my friends and companions, is all I have to say about this story. So, I do some um, commercial, and then yeah. So, sci-fi fantasy fans and all sort of fans meet on this channel for fun chats about their beloved books, movies, series, and franchises. We also talk about food and drinks, music and sport, and a special place on this channel for our most beloved Doctor Who. Random, because we discuss everything that involves entertainment, including movies and series, books, and music. Random, because we broadcast non-fixed times, actually many different times. You need to subscribe to this channel to know what time the broadcast is. Random, also because we have no case for different cases. It depends what you show me in live stream or panel. If you want to show me in live stream, feel free to contact me via Discord or YouTube, and we will look what is possible. What is also possible is to invite me for your channel for a live stream or panel. I want to talk and chat with you about things we're interested in. So feel free to invite me. Discord server is called Random Entertainment Channel Tech Doctor Who, and you invite me very quick on Discord because I bump the server regularly. So cheers, mate. Have lots of fun, you host Enigmatic Joker. Yes. So I'm looking forward to meet you. Yeah, and then last thing I want to say is that I'm very passionate, I'm very enthusiastic to these live streams, and every time I'm so enthusiastic, I love this so much to talk about, especially about the Doctor Who. Very passionate, very enthusiastic, and I want to go further with more with energy, with oh yeah, all what is in me. I want to do this. So it's my pleasure to talk about this. So yes, I'm looking forward to meet you next time. Um, so have a nice day, everyone. I see you. Bye bye. Bye bye.